अपने स्टूडेंट से शादी नहीं करेंगे तो वो इस समुंदर में डूबकर खुदकुशी कर लेगी और बदनामी होगी आपकी। अब फैसला आपके हाथ में है, बदनामी या मंगलसूत्र।
When someone asks me why I watch so much cringe content,
अच्छा लगता है मुझे, बहुत मजा आता है।
The day is finally here where I'm going to torture myself for your entertainment. As more and more episodes get produced, it gets tougher and tougher to curate some of the most bizarre and regressive content across languages in this country. But one thing is for sure, if the content that gets produced in this day and age in 2022 still has the ability to seem dated and prehistoric, then this series is also not heading anywhere, that's for sure. Before I get into this month's picks, a lot of people were mentioning in the comments of the Jug Jug Jio trailer review that they found that the characters narrowing down the problems of marriages to be just women between Varun Dhawan and Anil Kapoor to be sexist and regressive. But I thought for a second, doesn't the context matter? A father and son, both fed up of their marriages, each wanting a divorce from their wives, are fed up and get inebriated, hence making the joke. The comedic punchline is the bottom of the barrel stuff, but in no way is it a glorification of their thoughts, is it? It's just the emotional state that they're in. It might be a little more layered, but if the attempt of the movie is to portray narrow-minded men getting together to shit on women, then they got it spot on. But if its portrayal is just to make women the butt of jokes, then it's rather cringe. Also on the same lines of offensive jokes, in retrospect when you think about Bhool Bhulaiya 2, it definitely had far too many body-shaming punchlines, constantly making fun of the size of the little boy, making me think, is it just bad WhatsApp sharing joke writing that is happening, or it showcases their regressive mindset? You tell me what you think about this phenomena in the comments below. Getting right into a whole lot of cringe and bizarre sequences across Hindi cinema, here is Tried&Refused Productions, with 5 shocking Indian movie dialogues or scenes you won't believe were approved. Chhota Sarkar. Of the many Govinda films that have featured on the MATLAB KUCH episodes, the 1996 Chhota Sarkar has to be the most obscure and weirdest of the lot. Apparently based on Sanjeev Kumar's Anhoni, the film takes logic, humor and basic etiquette out of the window into a torture trash bag and burns it up in flames. Double roles, secret agents and a rich inheritance to baat ki baat hai. The setup in itself is riddled with regressive undertones and zero logic. Reflecting on a romantic time, the flashback appears in the storyline with this dialogue.
तुम्हें याद है? हमारे घर के सामने तुम्हारा एनसीसी कैंप हुआ करता था। और कैसे तुम मुझे रोज छेड़ा करते थे।
Govinda is in his stalking best from the very first scene, making his intentions clear from the word go.
दूर दूर तक नजर नहीं आएंगे आपको, बस एक चुम्मा दे दीजिए।
Shut up!
उधार मांग रहा हूँ, उधार का मतलब समझती हैं आप? आज आप चुम्मा देंगे, मैं कल वापस लौटा दूंगा।
In the most bizarre sequence to trap a senior from the army, Govinda dresses up in drag and appears in his tent, only to cry wolf and accuse him of rape. The comedy sequence, if you want to call it one, carries on, where a rape test is forcefully conducted only for the doctors and nurses to faint, noticing Govinda's jewels. If that was not enough, Govinda in another scene saves Shilpa Shetty from goons, only to give her a lecture by saying this.
खूबसूरत लड़कियों को इस तरह के कपड़े पहनकर स्विमिंग करने का कोई हक नहीं है, और स्विमिंग करने का बहुत शौक है ना, तो घर के सामने एक खड्डा बनाओ, उसमें कूद जाया करो।
Nothing represents romance more than just shaming a woman for wearing a swimsuit as she dips in the pool. One should be more careful and wear something subtle like a turtleneck sweater while doing the same. Nenu Local. Nani is a very interesting case study in Telugu cinema regarding his creative choices. He blows it out of the park when his storylines have substance and seem vastly as if an effort has been made to tell human stories. But he also clubs it up with really hollow, forgettable and vapid commercial projects that makes me think he's just playing a balancing act. I stumbled upon his film Nenu Local that released in 2017 opposite Kirti Suresh, and it made me cringe on how it totally does everything in the school book of cringe of commercial cinema. I also wanted to ask Tamil and Telugu cinema fans, what is the fascination with commercial cinema mostly portraying their heroes as rowdies, aka deadbeat unemployed individuals who have nothing going on in their lives, but their only redeeming quality is that their heart is in the right place? Let me know about this phenomena in the comments below. Anyway, Nani is an offshoot of the same, aimless and unemployed, eve-teasing women with his other freeloading friends. Fate had it that he is mistaken for someone else as he gets slapped by Kirti Suresh, and from that point on, he claims ownership of the girl.
डिस्टर्ब करूंगा जब तक प्यार नहीं होता, बस इंतजार करो, तुम मेरी बनोगी.
He sends his cronies to get all the information about her daily routine, aims to cross paths with her by parking in her place in college, joins the same college pretending to be interested in MBA, harasses her by going to the public service announcement mic of the college, only to confess his love for her.
लड़के का प्यार यूजर नेम है, सबको पता चले तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, पर लड़की का प्यार पासवर्ड होता है, सिर्फ यूजर को पता होना चाहिए. सब तुमसे आकर पूछेंगे, पासवर्ड मत बताना.
The man is incessant with his stalking because he knows one day she will accept him, reaffirming the notion that if you try hard enough, are persistent enough with your stalking, they'll concede and accept. The man comes unannounced to her balcony, chloroforms her and takes her away from her own house, gives a lecture to a mosquito who touched her before he ever could, and all of this culminates to, he's a sweet guy, she'll surely fall in love. These kind of stories and the logic behind it just boggle my mind. A Shiva Karthikeyan film that I just can't pronounce. You know, there is a movie called Andaz that released in 1994 and it absolutely and kind of unknowingly glorified pedophilia, showcasing the dynamic between Karishma Kapoor, a school student, to be romantically interested in her teacher, challenging Anil Kapoor that one day she will become his wife.
एक लड़के का नाम एक लड़के के साथ पहली बार शादी के कार्ड पर छपता है, लेकिन मेरा नाम तो आपके साथ स्कूल के कंपाउंड से हॉस्टल के बाथरूम तक लिख दिया गया है. अब हमारे पास एक ही रास्ता है सर, कि हम सचमुच एक दूसरे के ही हो जाएं.
The film was gross and covered this up by showcasing the dynamic with comedic twists. When I saw Shiva Karthikeyan's film opposite Sri Divya that released in 2013, I was appalled on how normalized they made an interaction with an underage child and a man actively pursuing her. The character initially uses the school kid as a medium to hit on the teacher. He treats her like an immature kid and constantly blackmails her in order to send his messages to her teacher.
पागल हो गया हूँ जो तुझे लव लेटर दूंगा. बच्ची पालने का शौक नहीं है मुझे. तुझे लव लेटर देके क्या तेरे साथ रिंगा रिंगा रोजेस खेलूं?
When he gets to know that the teacher is marrying someone else, our hero is heartbroken, only for later to stumble upon the same school kid in a sari. Now that she is dressed as a woman and comes across as a mature human, he starts fancying the same girl that he once treated as a petulant child.
कल तक तो बच्ची लगती थी और आज साड़ी में कयामत लग रही है.
He starts following her, ogles at her when she is sleeping, and is hell-bent on marrying her. The concept of grooming is completely disregarded. The establishment of a relationship when she is a minor is completely forgotten, and the prime focus becomes the hero going from pursuing the student's teacher to the student itself. It's not only gross but ignorant of the creators to normalize such behavior. Vijayendra Varma. I can't create a Matlab Kuch Bhi episode and not expand upon a gem featuring Nandamuri Balakrishna. And I went on a psychedelic trip watching the 2004 movie Vijayendra Varma. The film is so nonsensical, so absurd, so over the top that it definitely falls in the category of so bad that it's good. Pakistani extremist forces are causing havoc and our leading man has lost his memory, realizes that he was found in a terrible state with gunshots 7 years ago and was reassembled to have special powers that really kick in when he faces evil. No. This is the story. This is the real story. The man gets superpowers when he sees evil. If you want to look at jingoistic films also, then this film takes it to a whole new level, having a long drawn out sequence where the villain tries to stomp on the Indian flag, only to be incessantly curtailed by multiple patriotic Indians. The criticism that Balakrishna's films get is restricted to fans saying Jai Balaya. So you can look at a glimpse of the final action scene and shout together Jai Balaya as it carries on.
ర్యాంప్ చేస్తాడు బాలయ్య బాలయ్య బాలయ్యకి లేదు వేజు ర్యాంప్ చేస్తాడు బాలయ్య 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 బాలయ్య.
Viva. Probably one of the most memed movies of the mid-2000s is the Suraj Barjatya film Viva. A film that was a huge financial success but riddled with the Barjatya tropes that of course don't age well like most of his movies. See, the romantic relationship between Prem and Poonam is sweet and all of that, especially of how it concludes of accepting one another. But you know, besides the saturation of sanskar that can give anyone a headache, what pisses me off the most is the portrayal of the character of Chhoti by Amrita Prakash. I understand that you're tapping into the racial sentiment of most of this country, only equating fair-skinned women to be beautiful. But Barjatya deliberately creates the contrast between Poonam and Chhoti in every frame, so much so that you are constantly reminded of who is marriage material and desirable. To make matters worse, Seema Biswas, Chhoti's mother, constantly instructs her to put on fairness cream, walk a certain way, and despises Poonam for being the noble niece that she is. The actor playing Chhoti is also plastered with bronzer galore to make her darker and make this contrast even more apparent. In hindsight, when you see the film also, Chhoti actually is the most interesting and cheerful character from the universe, at least having a perspective rather than Poonam, who is just vanilla and does whatever the elders please. This constant notion of anything of dark complexion is not desirable has persisted for so long. It makes me think about the irreversible damages one does through the ignorant portrayal in popular movies such as this. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below whether you have some video ideas for our channel. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.